Good morning, children. Today, let's learn a very beautiful poem on nature. On the World Environment Day, a versification competition was held in our school and some of you had written beautiful poems on nature. I have read some of your poems. Here we have got a very beautiful poem on nature. The poem is titled The Tree and it is written by K.K.N. Daruwala. K.K.N. Daruwala is an Indian poet and short story writer in English. He is a well-known Indian poet and short story writer in English. He is also a former police officer. Let's read the poem together. Please take page number 16. Let's read it together. The tree. Next to the track beside our house, Dad planted a gulmohar. We tended it, we watered it, it wanted more and more. When first its little shoots of green spread across the boughs, and some of us said, "Wow!" Its branches were so low, we drove the goats away and cows. It really kept us on our toes. A baby tree needs care. Next year, the green first changed to leaf. It turned into a red-roofed tree, a thing of beauty rare. It never spoke to us, of course. It just spoke to the winds, and now and then waved to the skies. But it gave us everything. Its fallen flowers and its shade, they covered half the track. It sheltered us from sun and rain. The tree had paid us back. Did you read the poem with me? Now, let's analyze the poem stanza by stanza, line by line. Okay? Let's read the first stanza. Next to the track beside our house, Dad planted a gulmohar. Next to the track. What do you mean by track? Track means rough path. Track means rough path. Next to the track beside our house. Beside means next to or at the side of. Okay? So, near the rough path at the side of a house, Dad planted a gulmohar. In the first stanza, the poet talks about the gulmohar tree that his father had planted near the track beside their house. Children, have you seen a gulmohar tree? You can see it here in the picture. You can see the red flowers of the gulmohar tree in the picture. So, in the first stanza, the poet tells us that a gulmohar tree was planted by his father near their house. And the poet and his family members tended it. Tended means, the meaning is given here, looked after. The family looked after the tree. They watered it. It wanted more and more. The tree wanted more and more water to grow. Moving on to the second stanza. When first its little shoots of green spread across the boughs, and some of us said, "Wow!" Its branches were so low, we drove the goats away and cows. When first its little shoots of green. Little shoots of green means leaves of a new plant. Leaves of a new plant. You can write down the meaning in your textbook. Little shoots of green means leaves of a new plant. Spread across the boughs. Boughs means branches. Branches. When new leaves sprouted from the branches, the tree looked beautiful. Okay. The second stanza, the poet says that when new leaves sprouted from the branches, the tree looked beautiful. On seeing the beauty of the tree, some of the family members said, wow. Okay. Some of them said, wow, on seeing the beauty of the tree. Soon more branches appeared. But they were so low that the cows and goats had to be driven away to keep the young branches safe. They had to look after the tree. They had to take care of the sapling. They had to prevent the cows and goats from eating the new leaves. Then, third stanza. It really kept us on our toes. A baby tree needs care. Next year, the green first changed to leaf. It turned into a red-roofed tree, a thing of beauty rare. In the third stanza, the poet exclaims that a baby tree needed care, and that kept him and his family on their toes. The next year, the green leaves were overshadowed by the beautiful red flowers, till it looked like a red-roofed tree. It was a very beautiful sight. What do you mean by rare? Rare means not common. Not common. So, here in the picture you can see the red flowers of the gulmohar tree. It's a very beautiful sight. Isn't it? So, due to these red flowers, due to the beauty of these red flowers, it looked like a red-roofed tree. It was a very beautiful sight. Then, moving on to a fourth stanza. It never spoke to us, of course. It just spoke to the winds. And now and then waved to the skies. But it gave us everything. The fourth stanza, the poet remarks that the tree did not speak to them, as its branches were so high that the children could not play with it. The tree has grown. The tree has grown up and its branches are so high. The tree did not speak to them as its branches were so high that the children could not play with it. It only spoke to the wind and waved to the skies now and then. But it gave us everything. But the tree gave them everything that they needed. We know that trees give us shelter. The trees give us shelter. Trees give us oxygen. Okay. So, the trees give us the most essential things needed to mankind. So, the poet is saying that the trees did not speak to us. They spoke only to the winds and they waved only to the skies. But they gave us everything that we needed. Its falling flowers and its shade, they covered half the track. A beautiful visual imagery is created in these lines. The poet talks about the withered flowers, the fallen flowers. We can see the beautiful sight of the flowers lying on the path, lying on the track. It's a very beautiful sight, isn't it? The path near the house was covered by these red flowers, the withered red flowers. And the tree sheltered them from sun and rain. The tree gave them shelter. The tree gave them shade. They sheltered them from sun and rain. The tree had paid us back. Paid us back means, the meaning is given here, the tree gave us shade and protection in return for what we did for it. So, the tree had in fact given back to them all the love and care they had shown to the tree when it was small. So, in this poem, the poet talks about the true relationship between man and nature. The poem speaks about the peaceful and happy coexistence with nature. The relationship between human beings and nature. It's a very beautiful poem. The poem is very simple and beautiful, isn't it? I hope you all enjoyed reading this poem. Please read it many times. Be thorough with the poem. I will ask you to read the poem during our Google Meet session. Okay? I will show you a video also, and I will ask you to recite the poem during our Google Meet session. So, please read this many times. Be thorough with it. Okay? You need not by heart the poem, but you should read it many times. You can learn the meaning of the new words. Okay? Children, please take page number 15. 1-5. Here we have one more activity left in this chapter. Let's do it. Conversation practice. Karan's computer is not working and he doesn't know what to do. He asks his friend Richard for advice. Read their conversation. Children, here we can see 4 pictures. These pictures we can see 2 boys, Karan and his friend Richard. What are they doing? They are riding their bicycles and they are talking with each other at the same time. What are they talking about? One of the boys' computer is not working. Karan's computer is not working and he is seeking advice from his friend Richard. He is sharing his sorrow to his friend Richard. Let's read their conversation. My computer is not working at all. What should I do? So, you might have noticed the facial expression of Karan. He is very anxious. He seems to be anxious. He is telling his friend, my computer is not working at all. See, my computer is not working. What will I do? Then, what does his friend say? Richard replies, why don't you ask your father or mother for help? Why don't you ask your parents for help? They will definitely help you, right? Why don't you ask your father or mother for help? Then Karan is saying, Dad is out of town. My father is out of town. He is out of station. He is not there at home. He is not there at house. He is out of town. Mummy is busy at her clinic. And my mother is busy at her clinic. She is working in a clinic and she is busy with her work. So, I am not able to seek help from my parents. Then Richard is asking, what about your sister? What about your sister? You can ask help to your sister. Isn't she a genius with computers? I think she is a genius with computers. What do you mean by genius? Genius means an unusually intelligent person. I think your sister is a genius. She is a very intelligent person. Why can't you seek help from your sister? I think she is very good at computers. She has a good knowledge. She has a vast knowledge about computers. Then Karan is saying, well, I borrowed her new CD without asking her and lost it. Richard, I had borrowed a new CD of my sister. I had borrowed my sister's CD without asking her and I lost it unfortunately. Now she is not talking to me. Now we are in discord. We are in disagreement. She is not talking to me. I borrowed her new CD. Children, what do you mean by borrowed? Borrow means take and use something belonging to somebody else with the intention of returning it. Borrow means take and use something belonging to somebody else with the intention of returning it. So Karan had borrowed his sister's new CD without her permission. Unfortunately, he lost that CD. The CD is not found anymore. So his sister is not talking to him. Then what does Richard say? I think you should say sorry and make up with her. Dear friend, I think the mistake is on your side. You have committed the mistake. So you need to say sorry to your sister. You should tell her sorry. I am sure she will help you. I am sure that she will definitely help you. She is your sister, so she will definitely help you. Just tell her a sorry. Then Karan says, thanks, I think I will do that. Karan looks happy. He is no more worried. He looks very happy and he says that, thank you my dear friend. I will definitely tell her a sorry and I will seek her help in repairing the computer. Children, is this conversation clear to you? Now we need to do a similar conversation. We need to make a similar conversation with our friends. Have a similar conversation with your partner. Take turns to ask for advice on preparing for a debate, a subject you don't understand, or on how to handle some problem at school. Children, here we need to prepare a conversation. Two options are given here. We can do a conversation on either of these topics. We can either do a conversation on how to handle a problem at school. You can make a conversation with your friend about how you can handle, how you can manage. Handle means manage or control or solve some problem at school. Or you can ask advice to your friend on preparing for a debate. What do you mean by debate? Debate means a formal discussion on a particular matter in a public meeting in which opposing arguments are put forward. A debate means a formal discussion on a particular subject. Okay, a formal discussion on a particular subject in a public meeting in which opposing arguments are raised. So you can seek advice from your friends on preparing for a debate about an unfamiliar subject. Okay, the debate is about a subject which you don't understand, a subject which is not familiar to you. So you can ask your friends advice on preparing for a debate, or you can seek advice to your friends on how to handle some problem at school. You can do either of these. Please write down a conversation. Okay, use these phrases and sentences. A few phrases and sentences are given in this box. You can make use of them in order to form a meaningful conversation. Which are the phrases given here? What should I do? Would you suggest? Do you think I should? I think you should. Why don't you? Maybe you should. See, a few phrases and sentences are given here. You can make use of these to make a good conversation. I will give you a model for such a conversation. You can use this as a model. You should make one conversation on your own. You can use this as a model. Okay, I will read this aloud. A conversation between you and your partner. So just imagine that you are saying, I have a test on fractions, but I do not understand the subject. Suppose you have some doubts regarding mathematics and you are seeking advice from your partner. I have a test on fractions, but I do not understand the subject. Partner, why don't you ask your elder brother for help? You, my brother has to complete a project and mummy has an important meeting to prepare for tomorrow. Partner: maybe you should go to the maths teacher, Mrs. Chandra. She lives close to your house and you could find out if she is free to explain the sums to you. So the partner is giving the advice. You can go to the maths teacher. You can seek the help of your maths teacher, Mrs. Chandra. She is living close to your house and you could find out if she is free, if she has some time to explain, if she is free to explain the answers to you. Then you are saying, thanks, that's a good idea. I think I will go to her right now. Is this conversation clear to you? It's a very simple and small conversation. You can write down a similar conversation. You can write down a similar conversation in your notebook. Okay, and I will make you read that conversation during our Google Meet session. Clear? Can you do it? Please do it on your own.